Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am NIK NIKAM. This is a quick technical overview of a GME stock and see if this is the right time to get into the stock on an intermediate basis. I'm not talking about day trading, getting in and out. If you're trying to day trade, this is where you need to go, pump and dump, pump and dump. So that's where you may be able to make some money if you know how to get into it in the right time frame. But this is like an intermediate forecast, and we're going to be using multiple technical indicators to try to understand what is going on. Number one, I'm using Bollinger Bands, and here is the bubble. Whenever you see a bubble, that is an impulsive wave, and it is going to be followed by a change in trend. We saw another bubble here, and we had all these prices at the top part of the upper Bollinger Band, and eventually it came down towards the center exponential moving average. Now I have drawn trend lines, and this is the upper resistance line from the top of the price here on 25th of February to March 10th, and this is where it stands at $350. And the support line is from here about the same time. This is on February 24th, and this is where the support line is at $211. So we see some consolidation going on right here. As we can see, the price changes are very small compared to what we saw here. These bars are much taller. This represents the amount of change in the price. The ideal situation to get in based on technical analysis would be when all these parameters are in the oversold situation. For example, here, this was flat, and this was like an oversold situation. This was flat here, and it didn't really help here. And this was flat, and this was the baseline. Maybe this could have been a place to get in when things were really calm. When you see a real narrow band of Bollinger borders, that's an indication that it's going to explode in one direction or the other. So here it obviously exploded in the positive direction, and those who had the stock, bought the stock here at $50, made a pretty handsome profit all the way up to like $200, $180. Maybe that's the time to get out. And then, because as I said, the Bollinger Bands, it is at the top of the Bollinger Bands, and that means you may be approaching a peak which is going to be followed by a change in the trend. And same thing happened here. There was a change in the trend. There's a change in the trend. There is crossover of the MACD line here. So these all indicate a change in the trend. But the real question is, when is a next opportunity like this in the future? Does it look like it is for Monday? Well, if you look at the waveforms, so we are forming a sort of a narrow band here. The price changes are extremely small, and the stochastic is looking downward, and it is 65. It's not around like 20 or 10. Same thing, the Bollinger, the MACD has crossed the line and it's coming down. That means it is headed downward. And the same thing with the RSI. When all these things are pointing down, it is like a knife that is coming down. I don't know if you want to put your hand in that one. It's up to you. But to me, these are sort of a no man's land. None of these parameters, either the Bollinger Bands, the trend lines, stochastic, MACD or RSI, none of these are suggesting one extreme or the other like we see here. So we're not seeing these extremes. So if I were to get into GME on an intermediate basis, would be to let this kind of settle down, let all these indicators come to a oversold situation, and when things are flat like here, like a double dip. You have to see a double dip in the stochastic. Same thing with the RSI. Don't go with the first one. You have to go with the second dip, and maybe that's the time to get in, and you just have to have patience. And if you are lucky and you get an explosion where the stock prices go beyond the upper margin of the upper Bollinger Band stripe ribbon, then that's the time to look at. Then when do we get out if we get into this situation? You look for the stochastic, you look for the RSI. If they are reaching the top, I mean, that's when I would probably get out, because if you waited for a couple of more hours, you could lose more than half of the gain that was there in the stock price. So this is a quick overview of how to apply technicals to see what's the ideal situation to get in. I mean, we can go to a 30-minute interval here if you want to trade a little more aggressively. But the thing is, we have such long periods of consolidation, it is hard to know exactly when to get in. So in order for you to get in here, you should have waited here like on 22nd, and it's only on 25th it took off. That means if you had patience to sit there and wait for 3 days, you would have made some handsome profit, because all these indicators were on the oversold situation. So whenever you see a double top, that's an indication that you may be reaching the end of a trend. Trend is the only friend, and money is the only security when you are in stock market. So that's a quick overview. What do you think? What would be your entry point? Let me go back to 60 minutes and conclude here. Okay, that's a 60 minute. Let me pull this one back so we can. So would you get in the market here? What is your exit strategy? Where do you want to get in, and what is your exit strategy? If you think you're going to get in here and it's going to hit another one, the indicators don't point to that direction. Can the stock come down to the base support level here before it goes up? It's possible, but I look for clues. I'm looking for signals. Okay, the stochastic is below 20. The MACD is crossing the line from below and going up. Same thing with the RSI. It's going from below and crossing the 30% line from the bottom up. When you see those things, those are the real indications to get into the market. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. If you would like me to do a technical analysis on any other stock at any time intervals, like 60 minutes or 30 minutes or 15 minutes or daily, I'll be happy to do that. And my main purpose is to learn from what the technical indicators are showing and be a wise investor. Please do subscribe to our channel. We got numerous videos on trying to improvise our ability to make profitable trades and minimize losses.